to the shit show. Follows wherever I go. I'm a double SSOB, short for a shot shooting son of a bitch. If you're looking for a party, hell, I've already started. I'm a certified cocaine pro. Welcome to the shit show. Welcome to the shit show. Welcome to the shit show.
Fucking wanna play a game? Let's play a game.
Hey, Naggin.
Oh, Naggin Johnson.
Naggin.
Naggin.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait, so that's not the real one?
Yes, Naggin Johnson.
Yeah, no.
Damn, once again, everyone, the game is called Kick Off the Panel for the low cost of $5. You two kick anyone off the panel. That includes your host, co-host. Oh,
really
we
made
will
someone
see you
pay
in
another
5,
$5.
golden boy.
Wait, you can't kick AC up. I got a question.
You can kick anyone off.
No, I got a question. I got a question for AC real quick. Let me kick everybody off. You can kick me off.
All right.
Man, okay, look, dude. And it'll be real quick, but hope you haven't looked too much or whatever. But I want to direct your attention back to March 20th, 2021. When you remember down with the flashlight incident? Remember that with the Attica shit? Remember that shit?
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Okay. I want to know now because Earl's in jail. He ain't coming in now 20 years. He ain't gonna fight with nobody, right?
Yeah.
I want to know. I want to know what did he talk to you or Patrick about what the reason was for going to that particular neighborhood?
Off the top of my head, I can't remember. I know.
Do you know the lady that came out, the crazy lady with the gun? You remember the crazy lady who came out with the gun?
Yeah,
Remember?
No, I remember the thing. Yeah.
Damn, that's some good weed.
Do you know who lived? Anyway, do you know that one of the detectives for Deer Park lived next door to her?
No.
You know, one of the detectives and involved with his case. His molestation case, all that shit. So I was wondering, he
Really?
didn't talk to you about why he picked that neighborhood? Because I'm trying to figure out why y'all picked those fucking neighborhoods. Why y'all picked those fucking? Do you know what I'm saying?
One second, hold on. Once again, everyone, the name of the game is Kick Off the Panel for the low cost of $5. You two can kick anyone off the panel or bring them back.
Is it me?
Welcome back.
Hey, James Banks, YouTube lawyer, attorney at law.
Welcome back, Jamie.
You can bring people back too.
Yeah.
Kick them off, bring them.
Yeah, you can
The fuck kind of racket is this?
Yeah, it's not their fault that you didn't come up with something like this on your show.
So I got a question.
pay.
Okay, well that was so.
For the panel, duct tape, garlic juice, or Stomper OG?
Stomper OG.
Stomper OG.
All right, Stomper OG it is. I'll see how it is. I just got all these.
Stomper OG.
Nice.
I'll see how it is.
So, I mean, I see what you're getting at. Yeah, it is kind of conspicuous that you picked all these particular neighborhoods. I guess, what are you driving at there, David?
A van.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm driving at. It's pretty obvious. I'm trying to wrap my brains about Houston's a big town, right? Why he picked certain areas, like 3 or 4 different neighborhoods they went to. And I was like, why is he picking those neighborhoods? So I was just wondering that night with AC was there, when you got ready to go, all right, here we go. We're going out. We're going to go out, shine some flashlights and fuck with some residents and shit. He didn't say why. He didn't say why they picked that neighborhood.
Look,
when you're driving, when you're going to the scene.
Maven.
Look,
I mean,
Maven,
usually you don't. You just go.
Yeah.
Not in this case.
When I go
you do this too?
Yeah, when I go to Home Depot.
Am I 1A?
And I need my roof fixed. Yes, I just pull up in front of the Home Depot.
This is a little bit different. Okay, all right, this is a different situation here, don't you think? Auditing versus buying 2x4s. I mean,
he was
well-
utilizing the same kind of people for essentially the same service.
Wait,
Do you
what
think
are
that
you
was
talking about?
wait I don't know who I can't see on my phone who the lady was that was speaking, and I'm sorry, I don't know who that was. So you think that was a coincidence?
I'm saying it's a possibility.
Well, yeah, possibility, yeah.
Well, okay.
I mean,
Let
but what,
me-
you know,
let me-
highly is it do you find it like a very high or low possibility that the very detectives that are working on his case that he's trying to get, he's at that time he has a case coming up for molestation. He wants more than anything to interrupt this trial and do something. It's a witness.
That wouldn't have done anything. That would have
No.
done.
Are you
Saying
saying
like
witness
No.
tampering?
Yeah,
It's a-
what would that have done? What?
It's a
Oh, hold
witness.
on.
Okay, look. Okay, there's a witness. There's a witness on a case that he's going to trial for
You're
molesting
saying
his
witness
daughter.
tampering. Okay.
Okay, yeah. So, what is he trying to intimidate that witness into not
Yeah.
testifying?
Nah, what he's
No,
doing is
no.
he's creating a bias to
There you go.
excommunicate the witness from testifying with
Ah.
a
There you
personal
go.
biasness.
Weird.
So my question was for authority check. Of course, we saw him. If he says they didn't talk about why they picked it when they got geared up and ready to go and check the flashlight, batteries are good and all that shit, that they didn't talk about. Hey, we're going to this place, and they didn't talk about. Earl didn't mention why that neighborhood.
Okay, so me and Patrick were actually out running around doing our thing.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, it wasn't until later in the evening that he called David or David called him, one or the other, and they were like, "Hey, meet us up in Pasadena." We were originally going to go walk around the police department in Pasadena, but
Yeah.
I guess my understanding was that Pasadena Police Department had a new facility and they enclosed like all their because you remember I was doing the whole opening the car door thing.
Yeah.
And that was one of the reasons why I was like, well, Pasadena, they got the police department there. When I used to live there in Pasadena, I used to live like down the street from where the police department was. Right a couple blocks from the mall. And so I was like, if y'all want, we'll go to Pasadena first and, I'll go do my whole car lock thing. But it wasn't until I think right when we kind of grouped up that they were like, you can't do that.
Okay.
Because the police department's all locked up. Like everything's all fenced in now. I remember when I was a kid, it wasn't fenced in. Like you could walk up on the property and like cars are right there. And so
Okay, so hold on. So you and Patrick were out earlier in the evening, and then y'all
Yeah,
were doing your little stuff, and then somehow David got involved. Earl.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so what directed the location? What directed what was going to happen after that? Who brought up, hey, let's go to this place?
I would don't quote me on all this because like I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. But like I said, I mean, at least for the start of the night, or at least for that section or that side of Houston, we started off in Pasadena. We ended up in Deer Park. I think we ended up in Deer Park, and then I think we were looking for like expensive homes, like expensive neighborhood, something that was expensive. That makes sense. Like, like
Right.
Pasadena's old, right? Pasadena's Stinkadena.
Right.
That's old. That's old. That's an old area.
Right.
Whereas, you're going to get a different response from police if you are dealing with them in a rich neighborhood as opposed to dealing with them in a neighborhood that's, fucking full of crime and old
It can roll in hard, right? Yeah.
yeah. So you get a different response, and if I remember correctly, that was part of what was decided. Like, we want a neighborhood that was nicer, much like newer homes, newer built, and I think that's how we ended up in that neighborhood. I don't I don't specifically remember there being a specific reason.
Yeah.
Like David or Patrick never said anything about a case and a police officer living in the neighborhood. It was nothing like that. Like I mean, if that was the case, then I wouldn't have gone.
So
Like,
you were
if
kind of
I
along
knew
for the ride. Do you remember kind of like who was kind of guiding or directing the activities? Like we're gonna go look for this nice neighborhood. Was that Earl's idea? Do you remember if that was Earl speaking, or probably don't remember?
Seems like a pretty big deal to you, David.
He kind of takes control. He likes to.
Basically,
you got to do
you're
what he.
saying who was in charge.
Oh, so real quick. Once again, everyone, the game is kick off the panel.
Can you give me a minute? If I remember correctly, I would say that yes, he did take charge of like what was going on, and we're going here. Like I'm along for the ride. You're right. I'm along for the ride. So I'm not like I grew up in Houston. I'm born and raised there. I know Pasadena. I know Deer Park, but like Texas City and Dickinson and all these small fucking towns, like I didn't go out that direction. So
okay. Well, this was LaPorte, but it's right there by Deer Park.
Yeah. LaPorte.
So when you got to the neighborhood and you're walking down the street, doing little things like flashlights out, and Patrick's being all goofy and shit, says he saw a possum or a squirrel or some shit, I don't know. But was there any like getting to that corner with that crazy woman with the gun when she come out? And because her lights, she apparently saw you guys at the window, and she hit her car lights alarm to like lock the car, and the lights flickered, and then and apparently Patrick swung around and saw that and put his lights on the car and shit like that. Well, that freaked her out even more. Anyway, when you got near that, there was no discussion about a particular house, right, in that neighborhood from Earl. It was just kind of like he might have just been using you fuckers, you might have just been along for the ride.
I can't say if that's true or not. I know you probably would love to have more defined answer.
No. I mean, I know it was a long time ago, Plus, I know the dynamics of that group, and Earl likes to run the show, and sometimes he doesn't tell everybody everything, and that's probably what happened here. But I just find it is kind of makes sense now that you and Patrick were out doing your thing, that Earl got involved, and all of a sudden it switched right down to not just to LaPorte, where he was having issues with certain police in the Deer Park, but one of the detectives, Holmes, was one in a development that's being built, and right down the first street was that guy's house. The first street you guys went down. Just, I mean, yeah, it's possible the same neighborhood, right? But the first street you go down is the guy's street where he lives. And so he was in voice chat right before his big trial, his big showdown. I
didn't even know.
And brought this shit up, and he said he came up with a whole new fucking reason you guys are out there. You guys check this shit. This is what this fucker said. He said, "Yeah, we decided that we look for high crime neighborhoods, high crime areas, neighborhoods that were high crime." And what we would do is, because that we figured they like in an area near an interstate or a thoroughfare, because criminals like to park right there and then jump out, hit the house, hit the neighborhood, and jump in the car and make a clean getaway, like some kind of movie or some shit. And he said they picked he picked that neighborhood for that reason, to go walk around and have these big lights to shine them around to let the criminals know that they were there. Like some kind of like, what is it, neighborhood watch team, some shit like that. I swear to God, that's what he said. This is just like not even right before he went to jail. Like a couple weeks ago, he said, "Yeah, you guys were on some little, fighting crime, with spotlights and shit, with flashlights and shit, so that the people could rest easy that the criminals weren't going to come, breaking their cars because you guys were out there,
I don't know where the fuck his imagination was going with all that.
He forgets his lies. He forgot he couldn't remember the lie,
Well, and that's one of the reasons why I like, at least with like the panel, well, actually all of this shit from fucking YouTube. Why I always say, like, I don't have a reason to lie. Like, I'm going to forget the lie. I gotta work twice as hard to fucking remember it. No, fuck that shit. Tell the truth the first time, and being honest, I don't remember the full details of how we ended up in that particular neighborhood. I just remember we were thinking richer neighborhood, new homes, new built. And like I always said, like Ahmaud Arbery thing was what was on my mind when we were thinking of something like this, because remember he's the black guy that got chased down for just looking inside of a new home and didn't even steal anything.
Yeah, I see what happened now. He kept you in the dark, and he probably kept Patty. I don't know if if he kept Patty in the dark or not, but because he's afraid, you guys would say something. He has his own code words for everybody to keep quiet. He thought he was smarter than everybody else, and he didn't want him talking. So probably kept you guys quiet and kind of used you guys to go do this thing. And the reason I brought it up now is because Felipe Hemming, just because now the case is over, he submitted a document request for everything a while back. They said it's an ongoing case. They couldn't. Well, he got all the shit. He did a show tonight, and one of the things was an email about you guys out there fucking around in LaPorte, and they're communicating with each other. The cops were. They're like, yeah, the dude's right outside. JB, they call him the detective. JB's right outside JB's house. But so they were hip to it all. They were on top of it. It's fucking crazy. While you guys are out there fucking around.
I know that, like, where was it? Because we got stopped earlier in the night, walking through a neighborhood in Pasadena, and I want to say, well, maybe it wasn't Pasadena, it was Deer Park, and we were walking through the neighborhood, and David wasn't with us yet. It was just me and Patrick.
And where was that? You said what part of Houston? Pasadena?
Pasadena. It was one of the two, but we were in that area, and we had the cops come, and David hadn't joined us yet. And I remember the cops had stopped us. In fact, I think the video is still up on my.
Were you over at Morgan's Landing, or some place like that? Some place called Morgan Landing or some shit. Early in the night. Okay, well, that kind of makes sense. It's just weird because it's a strange spot for you to be in, and then Patty, but y'all were over there, but
Morgan's Landing is the neighborhood that we got arrested in. That's not where we were before that.
Okay, that was the name of the development.
Yeah, it's the name of the neighborhood or whatever.
All right. So you guys were in the area, okay. And then I guess did Earl was seeing you guys out there in the area because you all communicated. You had the little group thing you had going. So he probably said, "Oh, you guys are in the area. Let me go join you." Huh. All right. Well, that's about it. I didn't mean to wreck your smoke show, but I saw you alive, and it had just happened tonight. So
no, I
I
know everyone else is ready for a coke out and stuff.
Yeah.
But
Well, he almost drugged you in the middle of that fucking case. You know that, huh? I mean, it was could have. I don't know how it would have played.
In what case?
It was fucking trial.
Yeah, what are you trying to say here, David?
His trial?
Yeah.
For what? I had
something gonna happen. Fuck, I don't know. Witness tampering shit. That's fucking serious.
Yeah.
Wow,
That's
what
a
are you talking about?
Some people are like, what the fuck?
I'm lost.
Oh, but you guys got to see it though, because AC gets arrested, and most people get arrested. They can do the Patty thing and talking about my arm hurts, my knee, and all this shit. And some people, they throw the little. Everybody has their own little what they do when they get arrested, and these auditors and shit. What does AC do? He starts doing the Attica fucking thing. What movie was that from?
From a cartoon, Bugs Bunny cartoon. Where he's
No, that was Scarface.
It's from an actual movie.
No, it wasn't Scarface.
I know the Bugs Bunny you're talking
looking
about.
for Mr. Goodbar. Looking for Mr. Goodbar, some shit like that.
But I know
Al Pacino.
Bunny
Attica.
Yeah. It's from an Al Pacino movie, but Bugs Bunny does it in his own version.
Yeah, he does it.
Okay.
I'm just a beaner in a taco hat.